For breaking news eba there is a current coup d'etat going on in Benin. Na when say Benin in so there ye can address a Ghana pan. Now I'm going to speak on this, the effect it's going to have on Ghana, what it means for Ghana, and then what it means for Africa and then Africa leaders as a whole. Now, Michelle, and then your first time on subscribing, now click the notification bell on so. We understand latest news via bar once that ever can. Now, yet from Benin, hona, omo ministers be eka say coup d'etat bi anko so. Omo nkrofo bi nso akwaji soldiers ni bi. Akwaji radio, TV station, national TV station, our more broadcasting say coup d'etat akoso. So we don't actually know what's going on, but ye then and then nam sans and same way so then the buyer and the Benin sans and same way na ever. But the details ne bremo. Send ya me din kan no, and then your first time as subscribing, now click the notification bell on so. We understand latest news bi aba won sa ebeka. Na Mr. Obi bia wo tie me bia no say we fu eso. Na say opese we fu no oteso. Ema ne kofom and 10 more. Me recommend the book amount. Now book ne betre on nyama miensa. Na sa nyama miensa no to me this super pepe every single day. Me ma 1 month pe. Obe unse ni awefu. Ebe kofom. Na me amene mo kase embre bi na mefu eni as you are seeing on the screen. And that amene mo kase same person me amefu eni. Na manto edru manto hwe eye book ni mu nsemo. Ena ema amefu ekofom sa. Nti upe book ni bi ato 100 cedis pe. Na mane o screen is on 055-807-4986 ofre anasa WhatsApp ya yebe send new book no ni PDF anasa ni tree video what you say anasa wa watch e wo YouTube no there is a link in the comment box so click ya on sabeka na another thing and say nansen ye complain say Ghana nkola bebre akwa akotro wasi ama ankoye se wutie me na say akola wo fie wo fa sibi wo ebusuani bi na se ne wasi no ankoya. Me ma recommendation, there is a school I friend Sanctuary International School about danso man na enroll akola no se wasi no ntro ne fufuro e was our school no na me ka tell say o de no course our school no na ka tell say won konko register biom no ntro wasi na the following year akola ne tro wasi na obe pass one time because our school we on current record 300 kids are at Rowasi no ba kumpu infili. Frewomo 050-9366-006. Sanctuary International School. Now, young concept so this is it. Or say Benin coup, Interior Minister says attempt thwarted. Right? I'm going to explain so you sort of understand what's going on. Now let's look into the details. Eden ekoso ewo Benin. When him say, sa French countries, most of them they are sa countries are omuninaka French. No, most of them they are still under France. What you say? And you know, you see recently, right? As recent as just last month, Enyan do 1 month in po, and you see Benin for parliament. ECO approve the extension of presidential terms, right? And let me read. The story is right in front of you. This is AP News, our reported story. No, I'm making control. Or see, Cotonou, Benin, AP. Benin's parliament approved a constitutional reform extending presidential terms and creating a new legislative body as the West African country is set to elect a new president next April. Next year, April, ena Benin for Ebetuaba. Last month, ena omoko parliament, eko ye reform. Na reform ni yedenya, president na watesono, omoko extende ne term. I said the amendment, which was passed by a 1919 vote as the National Assembly on Saturday, would extend presidential and lawmakers' terms from 5 to 7 years. The 2-term presidential limit remains unchanged. It will Benin, omo president be at so 5 years. But omo assistant the last month, omo assistant from 5 years to 7 years. So be the president or better for 7 good years. right? Enti sansem ne bae no, people were complaining say adentina eya na Africa ade we esi na sansem we kokosi wo Africa na obi ayekum na obi ampeso obeka hwe African Union nka hwe ECOWAS nka hwe and Benin eka ECOWAS so omoka African Union so yes, and the time ebe so na esi yenko parliament and ye ni nya extension ni we nya extension nti so a president na over 4 years pe kopa was yenko extend no menko 5 years oni menko 3 term eni menko see eni menko see nti ye no hu nsem no enende military for ebi mu sorry ya wo mo ka so wo mpene wo mo ku ye Coup and a story ba say almost your more Coup but Coup ne kra no ehun nsem aye bebre because ende the Benin government and so officially ababontin interior minister ababontin ababeka say Coup no anye yi because soldiers for no kokoye Coup no omo amodan fofo soldiers for bi nso asori etia wo mo soldiers for ya wo mo so ze omo ye Coup no nso ababe ye video wo mo kan say Coup ne de omo aye say but basically that's the story. So that's what is going on in Benin. Obi baby say what does it mean for Ghana? Listen, I am not going to lie. Ghana, the current situation we are in as a country, nyame, akwa we read the Bible na akwa say Ghana better than Israel. Oshe Israel, omo current situation na wo wom baby a omo as geographically baby na baby omo ye positioned. Now we share countries and countries surround you or money and some more course. Ghana babe the modern day Israel. And let me show you. My mention West African map. Let me just show you. Let me show you the West African map. So this is the West African map, right? This is the West African map. You are seeing the West African map. Look at Ghana, Togo. Oh, they are for more Benin. Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Togo, Benin, and then let's take Nigeria. We can go as much as Niger, Mali, and the likes because you go forward na a Benin. But you call more Benin Pandia, Benin, Togo, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, right? Countries see and a Benin. Ebusian for countries here Benin ni na no. Ye the Nigeria ni Niger mo ka ho, ene Chad, Cameroon mu ni na ka ho. There is one thing in common. And the thing is that all these countries no almost some level of chaos, some wranglings, some level of military ni brain sembi ni basa yobi wo man ni mu. Togo amene wo ka say ye ni na ye nim de ekoso wo Togo. Omonso sa president wa last minute ya ko parliament ye nko hyehye mbra bi nko yewe basa yesiye soldiers for atisi krum ene ye kum nkrofo ye bom nkrofo tiu ye yesi odwe ho awon ti ase chaos e wo ho omo ben Ghana. Burkina Faso ye ni na ye nim coup detat akoso ene obi aba betena se na we nso aba be ye we coup na we yakohin na akohin na eye de na enda me no ka say there are still some terrorist actions bi a ekoso e wo Burkina Faso omo ye Ghana for your neighbors. Cote d'Ivoire a me no kan enzo sa omo president so peso fisu so peso be fisu ene wo hwa ne akoni akɔhye mbra bi ne amana tena so kakra ene ne ye wei ene ne ye wei omo ka omo ho a no mo nso ku omo ho omo chese odwen ho awon ti ase eno nso Cote d'Ivoire ende Benin. Nigeria there we all know how currently the Fulani terrorists are taking over the country, kidnappings here and there. The military, basically they can't do anything. What they can. Mali so ye na ye nim dia akoso. Niger ye ni na ye nim ni na Coup akoso ewo ho. So look at the countries surrounding us. Nyama akoso ewo sa akoro ne so. aman so. And then look at Ghana. So far, Osha Omaya a ben Ghana. Now Ghana is the only country still practicing democracy. Ghana is the only country still practicing some proper form of democracy. Ghana is the only country. Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire. Let's not go further. But Ghana is the only country here still practicing some form of democracy. Now, for me, what it simply means is that all these countries, say excesses, the only country they will run to for refuge, your mind being, you don't need to be told, they're Ghana. Say, Bonisi or Cote d'Ivoire. Say, beyond to me, you're not Burkina Faso because a Honson Tokwa. Baby, a bay now, Beko, a between Liberia and Ghana. But Osha Liberia history, Ebia won't call Liberia, Osha Sierra Leone history, Uncle Sierra Leone. And he no beba Ghana. Intokwesi ewo Togo. Uncle Burkina Faso, because Intokwa woho. Uncle Benin, Intokwa woho. And he no beba Ghana. Intokwesi ewo Benin. Burkina Faso onfa Hong Kong kojehe Intokwa woho. Niger onko jehe woho Intokwa woho. Nigeria onko jehe Intokwa woho. And he no be Ghana. That is why ende Nigeria for bebre epese ba Ghana ne dientia because she Nigeria no their borders neighbors Niger, Chad, Cameroon. Sa Niger, Chad ne Cameroon ni na no sa man we no enyo ye ka mana ntokwesi pan untumi yi Chad in film Niger, Chad ene Cameroon aman we enyo inti bonisi wo Nigeria unti se Nigeria ni se mediane akọ Niger unti se Nigeria ni se mediane akọ Chad unti se Nigeria ni se mediane akọ Cameroon. In fact Benin na eben omokra na ende na Benin nso ate ne hui a wo se wo ye Coup yi inti unti mpo se Nigeria ni se oduane akọ Benin onko Togo onko jehwe wo ho the next country awo ba ye Ghana. So even if our country Ghana is not going to experience a coup, and obviously Ghana is not going to experience a coup, but even if our country directly is not going to be like sa omaya ye bodina yanso ya betie hia because sa man we ni na no omo ho twere omo a eye man mu no mu dwane aba. So obviously it's going to affect us whether we like it or not. Inti when you asem bia e was say West African countries leaders etena seka say oh we the empire Honda West Africa is deteriorating, and the way African leaders have been quiet about certain things, they are part of the problem. They are to be blamed because mutina hwa president bi tell me beso ubonza was say finally me year me amend the constitution me pese me ko third term me amend the constitution na me ko 5 years and then me pese me ko 7 years me amend the constitution, and then you expect African Union and ECOWAS to speak on issues like that, and then they are all quiet. Boniko Syria military for ba take over here afeidie obeso ye dey. You can't do that. You can't do that. No. Ebusia for me shremo montre mo comment box ni mo bedase.